I would rather die than see a world without wolves. I will gladly kill to prevent it. Hello, and welcome back to another lore video on Werewolf the Apocalypse. Last time we discussed the Glasswalkers tribe, and in this video we'll be discussing the Red Talons Tribe. The Garou sing old tales of the time when humans cowered around their campfires and feared the fangs in the night. Most howl of the Impergium as something to be regretted, but not the Red Talons. Wolves have no concept of time like humans do, yet the Red Talons, despite their attempts to deny it sometimes, are not wolves, and so elements of oral tradition have become rooted into their tribe. The Talons tell stories to acknowledge sadness and grief, but the concept of a faraway past remains elusive to most. These fierce werewolves claim that the only mistake made in the Impergium was choosing to end it, that Gaia would never have become this imperiled without the pestilence that is humanity running out of control. The Red Talons refute their human side almost entirely. Apart from a few Garou-born, the tribe is entirely wolf-born. Their anger and sorrow and hatred are born from watching their wolfkin diminish and humans spread. Painful emotions that define the tribe. Of course, the Talons are still werewolves, not simple wolves. They are capable of tool use, language, and all the sophisticated traditions of the Garou. As much as the Talons hate humanity, they do not argue the necessity of sometimes using human things. Only a foolish Talon would walk naked in a city if his hunt took him there. They prefer to follow their wolf hearts first and emulate humans only if absolutely necessary. They constantly test one another's dominance in the name of keeping the pack healthy. The strongest must lead. The Talons tell that their tribe was formed directly from Gaia, and that they remained the purest Garou that kept in touch with their original shape. In their myths, humans were originally prey and therefore unable to understand the laws that govern the relationship between predators and prey. It was through the gifts of the worm that humans learned to take from other predators and become hunters themselves. When one of these humans killed another predator, a wolf, Gaia decided to bless the other predators with tasks to help her keep the world in balance. Since she had no task left for the humans, she instead granted the other predators the ability to interbreed with humans, to teach them. To the Talons, this exposed the early changing breeds with the taint of the worm through their invading human minds. Other, even more radical Talons maintain that the connection to humanity is a curse inflicted by the worm upon them, transmitted through sexual intercourse or after biting a human and tasting its blood. To the Red Talons, the Impergium was the original task every Garou was envisioned for. However, through the corruptive influence of their human minds, the other werewolves began to behave like humans themselves. They mated with each other and produced the first Garou-born. They took human villages under their protection and interbred with them, so that they gradually forgot that they were meant to cull them. In time, this led to the Concord. On the night before the end of the gathering, a powerful Aru named Fellstrees stood up and confronted the leading Silverfang, asking him what they were supposed to do about the ever-growing population of humans now that they were no longer allowed to cull them. The Silverfang answered that he did not know which tribe Fellstrees belonged to and asked him for the name of it. When Fellstrees answered that names were not important, the Fang exclaimed that without a tribal name, they were nothing more than a pack of marauding scavengers. Angered, Fellstrees lashed out at the Fang, leaving a bloody swath of claw marks upon his chest. This, Fellstrees proclaimed, was the name of his tribe. From the cuts, the name Red Talons was derived. The Red Talons watched the rise of cities and human infrastructure with ever-growing suspicion. Other Garou regarded them as prophets and mystics with great insight into Gaia and the wild, but during these nights, the Red Talons often practiced a diminished form of the Impergium, where they stalked and attacked those humans who ventured into the woods after nightfall. The Red Talons, as a rule, had amiable relations with the Pure Tribes. While the people of the Pure Tribes were human, the Talons respected that the Pure Tribes had at least tried to teach humanity about balance and controlling their breeding impulses. There were even isolated Talon septs within unclaimed territories near the Wendigo who had coexisted for centuries. But as the wilderness in the Old World shrunk and wolves were hunted systematically, many Talons fled into the New World. As their kinfolk packs are decimated, the wild places receding, and humans continuing to choke the planet with cities, pollution, and mining, the Talons have realized that they cannot win the apocalypse. The construction of reservations and national parks is proof that humanity has won, that they can decide which part of Gaia and the wild to despoil and which not. In reaction to this, the tribe has issued the Winter Council. In order to address the excessive growth of humanity, the Winter Council will reinstate the Impergium in secret. These winter packs are recruited from Lupus and raised in absolute isolation, and then unleashed against human cities. Perhaps no other tribe is as close to nature as the Red Talons. They shun cities completely, exclusively living in their ancestral homelands as they have for centuries. As humans encroach on the wilderness, the Red Talons find their lands and hunting grounds disappearing and destroyed. The Red Talons have a unique relationship with the wild, seeing it as a release, as a reminder how the world was before, when humans had not yet used the Weaver's tools to ensnare it and fallen under the worm's sway to defile it. Seeing the similarities between the wild and themselves, the Talons often dedicate themselves to strengthening wild places and pursuing alliances with wild spirits that other Garou would find dangerous. Some voices in the Garou nation even whisper that the Red Talons are close to falling from Gaia to the wild, as the White Howlers did long ago to the worm. The Talons themselves refuse to comment on such claims. To the Talons, the mind of a Garou is comprised of two parts, a human mind and a wolf heart. While the human mind can be learned, no Homid can ever learn to experience the wolf heart. Talons divide between emotion from the human mind like jealousy, hatred, time, money, desire, greed, and mercy, and those that are pure and come from the wolf heart. Given their backgrounds, few Talons are comfortable with Weaver things of any kind. A few appreciate the usefulness of a gun or telephone, but for the most part they communicate via howls and fight with claws and feel that should be enough. Still, the other tribes admit that the Talons have long memories and recall rites and secrets long forgotten by the rest of the Garou. As a rule, the Talons eschew the use of human languages except when absolutely required. Most have enough proficiency in the Garou tongue, but among themselves, Talons communicate in the language of wolves, which works mostly over body language and other senses like scent. They are also the only tribe that cultivates special howl gifts that utilize their wolf howls in magnificent ways. The Talons' almost entirely Lupus perspective is in some ways beneficial for the Garou nation. In every other tribe, the Wolfborn are a fading minority. Every Red Talon knows what it's like to transition from the immediacy of an animal's mind to the complicated, half-spirit intelligence of the Garou. Even their few Garou-born are steeped in the lore of the Lupus, and keep ancient rites that have never known the influence of human tradition. The Talons are a reminder that the Garou were once intended to be equal parts human and wolf, before the balance was lost long ago. But the Red Talons are themselves ailing. They are a small tribe, refusing as they do to take human mates or adopt human cubs. Their hatred for humanity weighs them down immensely, causing rifts with the other tribes who rightly fear for their human kin. Yet not every Talon wears this hatred in the same way. Some call for the outright extinction of humanity, but others advise that what's needed is a return to the old days when humans and wolves were roughly equal in number. Some are viciously cruel to their two-legged prey, others act with a quick mercy, refusing to sink to their enemy's level by killing for sport. Many Garou fear it's a matter of time before the Red Talons fall to the worm. Some argue it's already happening, that the rumors of murderous rites performed on human captives are based in barely concealed truth. Even within the tribe, some wonder if they go too far. But for most of the Red Talons, the answer is as simple and straightforward as any truth known to wolves. They are Garou. They have been given rage in order to fight a war. They are simply set against a much more numerous enemy than any other tribe is willing to admit. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Now ask yourselves this, Garou: when will you rage?